You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Well, first of all, just a little bit of self-promotion. Really, it's promotion of my followers. I wanted to thank everyone because yesterday I hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Today I think I hit 104,000. I can't even believe it. And then another milestone happened while I was at my weekly fellowship. I posted this earlier today, found this video. I thought that it was awesome. I feel vaguely like I remember seeing it when it actually came out. But I just came across it on YouTube and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I want to share it. So this is a video, short video of the president from Fox, and he is using a particular phrase. He says, great reawakening, but come on, guys, great awakening. And then Fox has it right here on the scroll, great awakening. There is the image right there that I screen capped from the video, and we're actually going to go listen to the video right now. So let's take a listen, and then we'll be right back.
With this strategy, we are calling for a great reawakening of America, a resurgence of confidence, and a rebirth of patriotism, prosperity, and pride.
All right, so it just it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. That is clearly President Trump giving us a message and saying what we have been hashtagging since October or November of 2017, the Great Awakening. All right, that's what we are experiencing right now. Now, if that wasn't enough, while I was in my meeting, I had a couple of people message me and tweet at me saying, hey, good job. Well, I didn't really understand because I was focused on the fellowship that I was participating in. But when I get out of the meeting, I have about 1,000 notifications, and it looks like one of my followers, Conservative Karen, retweeted my tweet of the president saying Great Awakening, and then it ended up on the board. It was posted by our favorite Anon right here in post 2718, and then it was reposted with an actual screen grab so you can see both our names. This is the best day of my life, guys. I just about lost it. My head is spinning. Every day I wake up and I give thanks to our Creator, and I look to ways that I can be of service. My entire life is based around spreading this message, and I cannot imagine a greater honor than to have been included in a post on the board. Now, I have had friends, I have seen others that this has happened to, and I've looked on with pride for them. To have it happen to me, it is quite literally a spiritual experience today. I am so grateful to our favorite Anon and to everyone involved in this movement. We are the Great Awakening. This is incredible. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored to be able to be here to spread this message and to bring this information to you guys. My friend, Covert Extrovert, on Twitter does some great threads of the posts. We're not going to have time to get into all the posts because there is just so much news today. But the really important thing that we're going to start with is right here. Says that our favorite Anon linked to Run the Race tweet, there are no coincidences. National emergency went public today at 3:14 p.m., the same day that Barr was confirmed. The definition of a plan is a detailed proposal for doing or achieving something. Now, here is the post number 2718. How is that possible? On the same day of Barr confirmation? What a coincidence. Define the word plan. Well, we just did. Now, if you'll remember, we had that watch. It was 3:14. There was a bit of a discussion over, was it 3:14, was it 3:15? I always thought it was 3:14. Well, at 3:14 today, it was announced that Mitch McConnell actually said it, that Donald Trump was going to be calling that national emergency. Now, here is the statement from Sarah Sanders, press secretary. This came out at 3:37 p.m. President Trump will sign the government funding bill. And as he has stated before, he will also take another executive action, including a national emergency, to ensure we stop the national security and humanitarian crisis at the border. The president is once again delivering on his promise to build the wall, protect the border, and secure our great country. Sarah Sanders. So there you have it. It is happening. It is happening so fast that it's almost like I blink my eyes and the news is just flying by. This is great. I can't tell you how wonderful it is, except you guys already know because you're living it with me. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article from the Gateway Pundit. Breaking, Mitch McConnell says Trump to sign border deal and declare national emergency. We got video and everything. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican, Kentucky, confirmed from the Senate floor Thursday afternoon that President Trump will be signing the new border deal and will also be issuing a national emergency at the same time. McConnell said, "I've just had an opportunity to speak with President Trump. He's prepared to sign the bill. He will also be issuing a national emergency declaration at the same time." Let's go ahead and take a listen to Kentucky Mitch.
President. Leader McConnell. I've just had an opportunity to speak with President Trump, and I would say to all my colleagues, has indicated he's prepared to sign the bill. He will also be issuing a national emergency declaration at the same time. And I've indicated to him that I'm going to support the national emergency declaration. So for all of my colleagues, the President will sign the bill. We'll be voting on it shortly. And with that, I ask the Chair to lay before the Senate the conference report to accompany House Joint Resolution 31. Mr. President.
Now, is it just me, guys? Or since Mitch McConnell has been released from his deep state handlers and he's come to the light side of the force, he just looks healthier, you know? He's doing the work of the American people. He's serving the president. He is actually doing his job. And it looks like his load is lighter. He looks healthier. He looks so much better than he did previously, back when he was standing in the way of our president. Do you remember? No more. I don't want to hear that talk about draining no swamp. Well, guess what, Mitch? That's what's happening. Now, on the note of signing that bill and building that border wall, my friend the Speaker 2018 on Twitter said, timestamp 12/21 when President Trump tweeted funding bill. Think mirror 12/21. 12/21 as a date, as a post. Tweets are important. A lot going on from this deleted tweet from POTUS. So here is the executive order right here from December 21st, 12/21, 2017. Executive order blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption. And then we also have post 12/21. Hello, Maggie. Trust funds. 3. Deposits routed from EU. Why are deposits originating from EU being deposited into 3 trust funds? Children. How do you get your talking points? How many DC journalists, yourself, use and replace burner phones every week? How do you pass the new number out? Tweets are very important. Do you feel safe? And of course, linking to a WikiLeaks tweet right there. So the Speaker's right. Lots going on with this one deleted tweet. Do you guys think Maggie Haberman is scared? I think she is. Now, my friend Methods posted a little excerpt from Andrew McCabe's interview that he gave to 60 Minutes. He says McCabe admits that the day after he met with Trump, he made sure that even if he was fired, etc., the Russian collusion case couldn't be closed. Very telling sentence. He says, "Where are we with these efforts and what steps do we need to take going forward? I was very concerned." Look at an article from the Gateway Pundit dealing with Andrew McCabe and Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz says that if McCabe's interview is true, it clearly shows an attempted coup d'etat of the Trump administration. Again, we have video. Author and law professor Alan Dershowitz went on with Tucker Carlson on Thursday night, following reports on Andrew McCabe's interview with 60 Minutes. CBS News correspondent Scott Presley teased the interview on Thursday. According to Pelley, Andrew McCabe says the FBI and DOJ Democrats discussed wearing wires several times to spy on President Trump. This was after they started spying on the Trump campaign, transition team, and Trump administration illegally. McCabe said in his 60 Minutes interview that top DOJ officials were so worried over President Trump's decision to fire corrupt Comey as FBI director that they discussed invoking the 25th Amendment to remove Trump from office. Andrew McCabe also ordered officials to open an obstruction of justice case after Trump fired Comey to see if President Trump was acting as an agent on behalf of Russia. On Thursday night, Alan Dershowitz said if the statements by McCabe were true, then the Department of Justice was attempting a coup d'etat of the Trump administration. Now, let's go ahead and take a listen to Alan Dershowitz here.
Alan Dershowitz is a retired Harvard Law School professor. He's the author of the book, The Case Against the Democratic House Impeaching Trump, and he joins us tonight. Professor, thanks very much for coming on. So now the suspicions of many are confirmed by one of the players in it. The Department of Justice discussed trying to remove the president using the 25th Amendment. What's your reaction to that?
Well, if that's true, it is clearly an attempted coup d'etat. Relating to what your former guest said, let's take the worst case scenario. Let's assume the President of the United States was in bed with the Russians, committed treason, committed obstruction of justice. The 25th Amendment simply is irrelevant to that.
Right.
That's why you have an impeachment provision.
Exactly.
The 25th Amendment is about Woodrow Wilson having a stroke. It's about a president being shot and not being able to perform his office. It's not about the most fundamental disagreements. It's not about impeachable offenses. And any Justice Department official who even mentioned the 25th Amendment in the context of President Trump has committed a grievous offense against the Constitution. The framers of the 25th Amendment had in mind something very specific,
right,
and trying to use the 25th Amendment to circumvent the impeachment provisions or to circumvent an election is a despicable act of unconstitutional power grabbing. And you were right when you said it reminds me of what happens in third world countries. Look, these people may have been well-intentioned. They may believe that they were serving the interests of the United States, but you have to obey the law, and the law is the Constitution. And the 25th Amendment is as clear as could be. Incapacity, unable to perform office. That's what you need. That's why you need 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate agreeing. And it has to be on the basis of a medical or psychological incapacity, not on the basis of even the most extreme crimes, which there's no evidence were committed. But even if they were, that would not be a basis for invoking the 25th Amendment.
So this is not simply that, right.
And I challenge any left-wing person to get on television and to defend the use of the 25th Amendment. I challenge any of my colleagues who are in the Get Trump at Any Cost camp to come on television and justify the use of the 25th Amendment other than for physical or psychiatric incapacity.
I bet they're doing that right now. But this is an attack on our system, I would say, not just on the president. Alan Dershowitz, thank you very much.
It's an attack on our system. It's an attack on the Constitution. Thank you.
Scary.
This was a coup. As Alan Dershowitz said, any person in the Department of Justice that attempted to even discuss using the 25th Amendment to remove Trump when he was clearly not incapacitated was involved in that coup. They are implicitly part of the problem. More stuff coming out just showing that from the very beginning, Andrew McCabe and his corrupt cabal of individuals at the FBI and Department of Justice were interested in removing the president at all costs. This was not about the best interests of the American people or upholding the Constitution. This was about destroying it. This is about removing a duly elected leader. Now, if you'll remember, almost immediately after these meetings between Andrew McCabe and his cohorts at the FBI and Department of Justice, the media started floating the idea of removing Donald Trump because of the 25th Amendment. He hadn't done anything wrong. Immediately, they are talking about using it. Do you think that it's a coincidence that the media took these talking points that were being passed around in DOJ and FBI rooms and they started floating it to the American people? No, it's not a coincidence. They wanted to normalize the idea that Trump could be removed in that way, when clearly he could not. Thank you very much, Alan Dershowitz. Now, continuing on the story told by Andrew McCabe, more deep state lies. McCabe disputes Rosenstein, says FBI discussed impeaching Trump through the 25th Amendment several times. Deep state crooks caught in more lies. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein spoke with DOJ and FBI officials about wearing a wire and secretly recording President Trump to be able to build a case that Trump is unfit to hold office. The deep state anti-Trump Democrat operatives were plotting to remove Trump by the 25th Amendment on insanity charges because they disliked him and wanted Hillary to win. DAG Rosenstein began plotting Trump's removal shortly after FBI Director Comey was fired. James Comey was fired on May 9, 2017, and DAG Rosenstein was appointed special counsel Robert Mueller to investigate Trump-Russia collusion a week later. Rosenstein was acting attorney general after AWOL Jeff Sessions recused himself from his duties a day after he was sworn in. Rod Rosenstein denied that earlier accusations that he was discussing wearing a wire to take down Trump. Rod Rosenstein fired a FISA warrant to spy on Trump in June 2017. Rosenstein signed the final FISA renewal somewhere around June 29, 2017, after Mueller's appointment as special counsel on May 17, 2017. New York Times reporter Michael Schmidt learned that Rosenstein discussed wearing a wire a second time. Exclusive. Rosenstein discussed invoking the 25th Amendment to oust Trump in the days after Comey was fired in May 2017. Now, he says, update. We've learned that on a second occasion, Rosenstein discussed wearing a wire. This was in addition to the earlier instance. Now this. Fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe will appear on 60 Minutes on Sunday. CBS News correspondent Scott Pelley also teased the interview on Thursday. According to Pelley, Andrew McCabe says the FBI and DOJ Democrats discussed wearing wires several times to spy on President Trump. This was after they started spying on the Trump campaign, transition team, and Trump administration illegally. The deep state, FBI, DOJ can never be trusted. And that is why the House is being cleaned right now. Now, this is something I wanted to discuss the other day when General Flynn changed the background on his Twitter profile. It looks like the actual background was taken from the Flynn family crest. Awesome. They figured it out. So there are several iterations of it, but the one I like the best is right here, where he is gripping the snake. Taking down the snakes, General Flynn. Now, in a tweet from Jen Teeny Bottom, she says that in the rally, POTUS mentioned 1888 several times in his Texas speech. Brandon Lawless, at Brandon Lawless20 tweeted, "Storm is upon us, thoughts on this?" In post 1888, it's repeated multiple times. You get to go to jail. 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 You all get to go to jail. This is great. Love it. 1888. Look it up, folks. You think President Trump wanted us to see this post? I think he did. Now, my friend Methods caught this when referring to the FBI. Pretty awesome that our favorite Anon said fired forced less than 48 hours before Trump did this morning. And in the post on February 12th, shall we play a game? Where are they now? Reference Public Optics. Retired left refers to fired forced. Federal Bureau of Investigation. James Comey, Director, fired. Andrew McCabe, Deputy Director, fired. Jim Rabicki, Chief of Staff and Senior Counselor, fired. James Baker, General Counsel, fired. Bill Priestap, Director of Counterintelligence, Strzok's boss, fired. Peter Strzok, Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence, fired. Lisa Page, Office of General Counsel, fired. Mike Cortan, Assistant Director of Public Affairs, fired. Josh Campbell, Special Assistant to Comey, fired. Michael Steinbach, Head of National Security Division, fired. John Glackalone, predecessor to Steinbach, Head of National Security Division, fired. James Turgle, Assistant Director, fired. Greg Bauer, Top Congressional Liaison, fired. Tricia Anderson, Principal Deputy General Counsel, fired. Randy Coleman, Assistant Director of Counterintelligence Division, removed. President Trump, at 6:55 a.m. today, says many of the top FBI brass were fired, forced to leave, or left. McCabe's wife received big dollars from Clinton people for her campaign. He gave Hillary a pass. McCabe is a disgrace to the FBI and a disgrace to our country. Make America great again. Right there, more confirmation. Fired forced, fired forced. I love it. All right, now, in another instance on Twitter where I think Donald Jr. wanted us to pay attention, he had tweeted, "When is somebody finally going to investigate the investigators?" He left out the IG. If this isn't an attempted coup, I don't know what is. Regardless of party, if you're not troubled by this, you're part of the problem. And this is in response to Geraldo Rivera's tweet. Put in the context of FBI agents vowing to be the last line of defense versus our own president, the McCabe revelations are troubling evidence the FBI was engaging in a low-energy coup. And that's right. He certainly was. So my point was, Don Jr. left out the IG, meaning The IG is the Inspector General bringing the pain? Could be. And this was from my friend Methods. That cartel Chicago connection. El Chapo's murderous Sinaloa drug cartel was based in Mexico, but for years its American nerve center was Chicago. This is from the Washington Times. Quoted here, his henchmen from the Little Village neighborhood, twin brothers Pedro and Margarito Flores, turned the city into a conduit for as much as 1,500 kilos of cocaine and heroin each month that would be distributed throughout the U.S. and Canada. Often, drugs were sent to American cities, were stashed behind fake walls or in crates of frozen fish or avocados shipped in boxcars and tractor trailers. Is it any wonder that Chicago is in the shape that it is? Is it any wonder that Chicago is the most corrupt city in our country? Is it any wonder that our last president just happens to be the most corrupt president ever in the history of our country, and he was also from Chicago? All right, now just getting to another amazing thing that happened today. Breaking from the Gateway Pundit, the Senate has confirmed Bill Barr as President Trump's new Attorney General in a 54-45 vote. On Tuesday afternoon, the Senate invoked cloture to end debate on AG nominee Bill Barr and passed in a 55-44 vote. The Senate then voted to confirm Bill Barr as Trump's new Attorney General on Thursday. Bill Barr secured enough votes in the Senate Thursday. 3 Democrats voted to confirm Barr: Senator Joe Manchin, West Virginia, Senator Doug Jones, Alabama, and Senator Kristen Sinema, Arizona. They're both in trouble. I think that's why they voted. Senator Rand Paul, Kentucky, was the only Republican to vote no on Bill Barr's confirmation. Rand, at the time of this publication, the vote is still open, although Barr has the votes to secure the confirmation. Update: the Senate confirmed Bill Barr as Trump's new Attorney General in a 54-45 vote. Senate has the votes. Senate used the votes. It's official. The gavel has come down. Bill Barr will be taking over control of the Mueller investigation from acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. During his confirmation hearing, Bill Barr revealed he is Mueller's best friend, so don't expect Mueller's inquisition to end anytime soon. I don't think that's true. I think that, again, Mueller is on our team, and Bill Barr is going to release all of it. He is going to bring it to a conclusion, and we will have justice. I sure hope that this is the case. This is obviously a prediction, but this is what I'm saying. And lastly, in a real gut punch to California, epic, President Trump demands California return $3.5 billion to the U.S. government for the bullet train they just canceled. On Tuesday, far-left California Governor Gavin Newsom canceled the Golden State's massive high-speed rail project from Los Angeles to San Francisco. The boondoggle is more than a decade behind schedule and billions in the red. On Wednesday, President Trump called on California to return $3.5 billion to the government for the green disaster. California has been forced to cancel the massive bullet train project after having spent and wasted many billions of dollars. They owe the federal government $3.5 billion. We want that money back now. Whole project is a green disaster. California, if they are forced to pay back this $3.5 billion, they are going to be completely bankrupted. They are already bankrupt. I don't know how California is going to pay it back, but they are in a massively bad situation right now. And I think that California needs to completely collapse so that maybe the federal government can come in there and whip things into shape. Clean out all that dirt, all those greedy politicians, everybody who has been stealing from California. Jerry Brown just using it like a personal piggy bank, helping out his friends, taxing people to use water while they divert it to certain farms and not others. This has been a big news day, guys. I want to thank everyone for joining me. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. And thank you, Q, for posting my tweet on the board. Oh. All right, guys. Just some breaking news as I'm finishing up this video. Post 2721, no mercy, no bargaining, a traitor's justice, PAIN. And then, Truth Push. This is information about the DOJ trying to hold those meetings to oust President Trump that we covered at the beginning of the video. Post 2723, a traitor's justice. Phase 3, panic in D.C., rats everywhere. For those who decide to save the taxpayers some money, there is no escaping God. And finally, to close us out, Post 2724, chatter. Bill and Hillary's public health will begin to rapidly deteriorate. We have reached the end game, folks. Once again, thank you for joining me. I am Red Pill 78, the corruption detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.